Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called thereisonlyonefootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff, from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There is only one football!
Welcome. It's Footballers, that's right, live tonight from the depths of despair, Melbourne, the CPP capital of Australia. Welcome right now. It's Footballers live from Victoria, Australia. Welcome to the world.
Come on, I'm running late. Hold on.
Check it out, guys. Hup, 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 get it. Check it out, man. Hup, hup, hup. Everybody right now. Hup, hup.
Cup of life. I'll take a seat. Let me take
The
a seat.
cup of life. This
Have
is
a
the
nap.
one.
Orange.
Now is it time? Don't ever stop. We should've known. Gotta be strong.
Gotta be strong.
We should've known.
We
Right
should've
from the top. And when you feel the heat, the
And
world
when
is
you
at
feel-
your
feel it's
feet.
at your feet, all right.
No one can hold you back
No,
if you
no,
really want it.
It's all good. then.
I see it in your
I
eyes.
see
You
in your
want the
eyes.
cup
I see
of
in
life.
her eyes over there.
Now today's here, you're gonna get
What's
it.
with the scarf?
Do you really want it? Do you really? Tell me right now, people.
Oh, let's tell all.
Here we go. Ali, Ali, Ali. Go, go. Okay, guys, we are the people. We are the passion. We are the history. We are the soccer psychos of Australia. Frothy, we got massive guests tonight. We got Micheal, Theo, Carlos, Bielli from New South Wales. It's happening. It's our way, the highway, Frothy. It's our way. It's the bloody
Now,
highway
shut
tonight.
up. Let me
Ladies and
talk.
gentlemen, welcome to Frothy and myself. We've got some
yes.
special guests coming in a moment, guys.
Let me just start
Oh,
off to
we
say this.
have absolutely
Sunday.
lost the plot,
Now,
mate.
Now, listen up. Now, shut up, will you?
What's happening here, man? Somebody's whistling. I don't know.
Did you hear some whistling noise?
It's a ghost
Now,
on me.
as you can see, I'm all dressed up for the occasion. I have me.
Get rid of that
Did you
bloody.
hear something
I know
there?
somebody's screaming their heads off
There's
here,
something in the
mate.
background there. Someone's got a
I don't know.
crying child.
It's all happening.
Oh, well,
get,
anyway,
get on with it, mate. We've got guests. Take that, mate. Take it off. I
No,
can't see
well,
anything
hold
in
on.
it.
I'm excited because we got a special guest on.
Yes.
One of the greatest keepers I've ever seen. Now, I've got
boy.
my orange watch on.
Oh, boy.
I've got the old Queensland Raw top on.
Jesus.
And I've gone even further back here. There you go.
Our sponsors,
Brisbane Lions.
our sponsors come to the party,
Now,
of course.
I believe we have the great Micheal. Is it Micheal Theo or Theocritus? They're the
Michael,
same
are you
people,
there,
aren't they?
Michael Theo?
He's got to be there. Has he left us?
Michael Theo, are you
one,
there,
two.
Michael Theo? He's disappeared, has he?
How are you guys? Yes,
Welcome.
Theo, Harry.
Welcome, Michael.
Wow,
Welcome to the
wow.
craziest football show in the world, mate.
Well, they like to call us
I
crazy.
tell you what, some introduction there, boys. Some intro. Ricky Martin.
Oh, you know Ricky Martin, and now
Well,
he made me proud of him now.
Now, Michael. You know, do you know why Harry's chosen that song, the Ricky Martin song? Can I let you in on a little secret, please?
Go on.
Well, Harry claims he looks like him.
Oh, thank you.
Now,
Well, there is a story to that too. You don't know what's going to happen.
don't tell me you've met the great man, Ricky.
No. Some lady spoke. And Michael, this is all true. And Carlos, you got to listen to this
Well,
right now.
okay, go for it.
This
yeah.
woman walks up to me drunk at the Gold Coast. I'm doing a function singing,
Oh,
and
she
says,
must have been drunk.
You know what she said? She says,
What'd she
look,
say?
you look more like Ricky Martin than Ricky Martin. Jesus.
Well, she had a few beers, I'll take it.
Of course she did. Of course she did.
That's some compliment. Jesus.
It was
All
an
right.
amazing compliment there, Michael. Michael, we've also got Carlos Bielli. How are you, Carlos?
Bielli, yes.
I'm very well, Mr. Harry, and everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight from True Triple R. Is that right? Exactly.
True Triple
Planet
R.
Football.
That is correct.
Now, Michael,
in Sydney.
Yes, let me start, Michael, right now. You were a championship goalkeeper of the Brisbane Lions.
Oh.
Hang on.
Am I excited?
Brisbane Roar or Brisbane Lions? Which one would you like to talk
Brisbane
about?
Roar.
Yeah, I think it was the Raw, but the Lions have got a good AFL team.
They stole the name, if you remember.
Now, Mick, can I call you Mick? Is that all right? Or can I go by your Greek name? I've been studying the Greek. It's Micheal, I think. Harry, is it?
Micheal, yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Now, Micheal, we believe there's still a bit of tension between you and Danny McBreen. Is there any truth in that?
Not a bad bloke for a bad
Yes.
bloke.
It's
I know.
all okay. It's all over. That penalty kick, we remember there. Harry was there behind the
Yes.
goals and clapping you on.
Yes.
It's all good.
Yes. Yeah, it's all good. I saw him a few years afterwards as well because he was working at Fox Sports, and we had our pre-season launch there with Fox that we do every year, and had a good chat with
Wow.
Mr. McBreen. But he's a nice enough guy off the pitch, but on the pitch we call it white line fever. But so I was happy to have a laugh there.
I totally agree with you because once you put the top on, any top on, and unfortunately you played for the victory, well, you can't help bad luck, but at the end of the day, you came from the greats. We can't say South Melbourne anymore, Theo.
Oh, please don't.
So we call them North Melbourne now, but we all know who we're talking about. We're actually talking about South Melbourne Hellers.
Yeah, but North Melbourne Hellers. Yeah.
Yes. But I'll tell you what, were you there when Bessar stormed off the ground and he wanted to punch up with one of the Sydney FC players? Were you in that game? Can you refresh our memories?
Yes, I was. I was involved in that game, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, witnessing at the end of the game. But, Bessar took his top off thinking they won't know who it is, and, went a bit crazy.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Now, Carlos, you have some questions for Michael?
Yes, we've got young Carlos there.
Carlos,
Yes, I am here. I'm listening to you. Yes. Michael, how did you choose to become a goalkeeper? Did football choose you, or you have to be crazy to be a goalkeeper? So when did you decide, I'm not going to be a fullback. This is it. I will be a goalkeeper.
Yes, very true, Carlos. I grew up in Richmond here in Melbourne, and I used to just have a little kick along with a mate of mine. So he used to shoot, and I used to be in front of a garage door and dive on cement floor. And then we thought, you know what, why don't we join a club? And we joined the local club, East Richmond Jaguars, and they asked me, what position are you? And I said, I'll go in goal. So from day one, I've been a goalkeeper and, never fancied running around on the field. So, that's how it sort of all started for me. Ventured that way and watching Italia 90 as well, the World Cup. Walter Zenga in goals for Italy. That's how I fell in love with the game. Yes.
Now, Michael, what I have to ask you is that you know the name Ange Postecoglou. Do you know that name?
Yes, of course.
It's a familiar name, yes.
Yes, he was a bit of a coach. Is that right? That you know quite well.
He was the greatest.
Yeah, you could say that.
Now, were you there in North Melbourne? Sorry, we say North Melbourne.
Yes, yeah.
Were you there with him at North Melbourne as well?
Not at North Melbourne, no. At the time we had Stuart Munro, but
Yes.
of course he was there for quite a while at the good old Blue and White, North Melbourne. He was very, very good, yes.
Now, we're going to go to, before I bring the other boys on, we're going to the beginning of your career. Where did you start? You started somewhere. Carlos said something to you then. You said Richmond.
Yes,
Now,
local, so, yep.
You're a Richmond boy. We're talking about a suburb that was more AFL than bloody soccer at the time. I should say football. Is that right?
The Tigers.
Yeah, very true, yes. So, spent all my junior days at East Richmond, so a Greek club, and played there for, I think it was like 8 or 9 years. I was there for quite a while.
Can I just tell you one thing about when you said East Richmond? Did they also wear the Heidelberg United or Fitzroy United colours as well?
Yes, correct. Yes.
I only guessed that. Would you only guess that? There you go. So was there any kind of opportunity that you had when you started, a club that actually said, come and join us, we'd love to have you at our club? Was it a former NSL club at the time? Was there any NSL background there to you?
Look, for me, obviously, growing up, I was a South Melbourne supporter, and
Yes.
I played at East Richmond Greek
Good
Club.
choice too.
I remember the good old Middle Park days going there
Yes.
with my brother, and loved watching obviously the guys go around. And I used to watch Bruce McLaren in goals and whatnot. So I always aspired to be a professional one day, but never got invited to go to South Melbourne back then. But I remember one session I had with Michael Lilakakis, who was the
Yes.
goalkeeper at the
Yes.
time as well.
I remember him.
And I had 1.5 hour session with him. My brother met him on a tram, and he was lovely enough to say, "Yeah, bring your brother along. I'll take him through a quick session." And
Fantastic.
that's something that really stayed with me. And thought, well, what an amazing gesture from obviously Michael at the time. And it's weird how it works, because I used to look up to these guys, and South Melbourne was my team I supported. So that's I fell in love with the game and went on to have a decent career myself.
Fantastic. Frothy, you got something for Mickey, eh?
Well, you know what? I am still excited. Micheal, I think it is. Something like that. Am I saying it right?
We're turning into a Greek show here, I think.
Well, why not?
Yeah,
Why
of course.
not? Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, listen, just a simple question to you. When you're at the great team, there's only there's two great teams. One's blue and white, they're playing the VPL, and the other one's orange, which I'm
Orange.
a big fan of Brisbane,
Jesus.
Queensland, or whatever you want to call it. Now, when Jamie Young came along, did you ever think that he would be, or this is the supporters' opinions, Richard Raw, I don't know if you've heard of a Richard Raw, this guy, he's actually got orange blood, this guy, he's worse than me, this bloke. Did you ever think Jamie Young would, at the end of the day, they were comparing you guys, because he didn't really come over with the, to leave an impression he would be as good as you, but I tell you what, towards the end, people are saying, Young or Theo, flick of the coin will take anyone. You reckon there's any truth in that?
Oh, look, Jamie obviously came in and he did a great job when he was called upon. But, for me, my Brisbane Raw days are fond memories. I was there for 8 years and we won the title 3 out of 4 years. So I've been a part of many great teams. So, I can only go on what I've achieved. And, to have played in 5 grand finals and won 5, I suppose that speaks for itself. So I don't really have to big note myself. But, everyone has different careers. And, Jamie's had a successful career. But, in terms of trophies, being part of special teams, I can say that, I've done okay over the journey.
Yes, I'll tell you what. Good answer.
Now, Carlos, you got something for...
Can you hear some background noise?
We've got ghosts everywhere. Carlos.
Hey, little kitties.
Yeah, look, what makes a good goalkeeper? What are the qualities that you need to succeed at the level and
it
the
has to be
excellence
Micheal,
that
first
you
of all.
had?
Yeah, it's a good question, Carlos. Look, for me, for Micheal, I'll talk for Micheal.
Of any goalkeeper, you've got to be at the top.
Yes.
Mate, for me, it's presence. You look at a keeper, and I can look at a keeper in 2 seconds and say, yep, he's a keeper. He looks like a keeper, the way he communicates, the way he presents himself. He gives the players in front of him confidence. So that's the best way I can describe. I can tell, like, in 2 seconds whether, he looks like a keeper, he's a keeper. And I like to think, in terms of myself, I'd like to think that consistency, I probably wasn't one that made those unbelievable saves, but, more often than not, come the big games, I always produced in terms of a good performance. So consistency, because as I say, you see, keepers make unbelievable saves, and then you're like, what did they just concede? You know what I mean? So you've got to be switched on, consistent, concentrated. And now, this day and age, it's very different. It's in terms of goalkeeping, you've got to be like an outfield player, very comfortable with the ball at your feet as well. So it's a number of things, but it's just, let's say that presence in goals and giving out that confidence to the rest of the group. And the best example I can give right now is look at the Premier League, Arsenal, for example. You look at Leno, the German goalkeeper, great goalkeeper, but then Ramsdale's just come in now. He's played the last 3 or 4 games. He's kept 3 clean sheets, but just his presence and his communication, you can just tell. For me, I'd pick Ramsdale all day, every day. So, it's funny how it works, but, everyone's got their own theories, but that's mine.
Now,
one more question.
Yes.
What do you think Australia produces so many great goalkeepers? There's so many. I can think of 20 goalkeepers that could play for the national team. Why is it that we seem to have this production line of outstanding goalkeepers, Michael?
Zabika.
Yeah, we've been spoilt over the years, and I think one of the boys just mentioned there's Zabika. What a goalkeeper he was, Robert Zabika. Yeah, to say there's so many, Mark Bosnich, Swartz, even now like with Matty Ryan. For me, I don't know, is it our background here? Obviously with AFL, cricket, school, the hand-eye coordination. We really have been sport for choice over the years. So I think that definitely plays a part. But yeah, obviously it's a unique position. You've got to be, as I said before, you need that white line fever. You need to be brave, and at the end of the day, you're diving in front of people's feet and stopping balls that are travelling at high speeds. So you need that uniqueness about you. But yeah, for us, Australians, we've been sport for choice over the years, and long may it continue.
Now, Michael, when the change happened, I'm going to go here when the change happened.
Ooh,
we're talking about
2004.
We changed to the A-League. Yes. Is that right? Now, let me just tell you,
why?
Where were you at that time? That there was a break in between. There was a year's break before the A-League started.
He was at South Melbourne with Eugene.
What were you doing there? What were you doing in that break?
Yeah, because obviously I think it was a 12-month or 15-month gap between the old NSL and the A-League.
Yes.
And obviously a lot of players went back to, BPL and, in the New South Wales Premier League.
Yes.
So for myself, I went to Bielli, Lions.
Oh, yes.
So I had a stint there prior to going to the NSL. So I went back there, and it's close to my home. But yeah, great club, and we actually had a fantastic year that year as well. We managed to play off in the grand final. So, it was great leading into the A-League, start of the A-League. So, yeah, for me, it was spending it at Bielli in the Premier League.
Now, I'm going to go to the name Melbourne Victory.
Did you have to mention
I'm going to go to the name Melbourne Victory because we have a massive official watching right now.
Well, who's that?
Well, I think he's part owner. Joe Mirabella is watching right now.
Is he the guy that said they could challenge Real Madrid, is it?
Hang on for a second. Now, Michael, did you get a call up at Melbourne Victory at the beginning? Is that right, or what happened?
Yes, he played there.
Yeah.
2 championships there.
Part of it, yes. Correct. 2 championships. So I was a part of the inaugural team. Yes, that's correct.
And are we talking about Ernie Merrick?
Yes, Ernie
You were
Merrick.
there when Ernie Merrick was the coach. But did you have any relationship with that gentleman that used to spit all the time? He used to spit on the bloody ground. Bloody Muskie. You know who I'm talking about. He spit every time he cracked, he went crazy. He's spitting on the ground and going crazy.
Oh, pathetic.
Is that true?
Well, there you go. That wasn't while we scored a goal. He was stone cold. Ernie didn't flinch when we scored a goal. He's just sitting still there on the bench. But Ernie was the coach, but I didn't know Ernie personally prior to myself signing for Melbourne Victory. But obviously I knew of him. He was at the VIS as well. But I was at, as I mentioned before, at Bielli Lions, where my coach was Gary Cole.
Oh,
so,
Gazza. We've had Gary on the show. We've had him on the show, yes.
Yes, of course.
What a champion he is. And, he was the team operations manager at Melbourne Victory at the time. So he sort of signed me. Like, he had me, and, so that's how that worked out. And obviously, you mentioned there Joe Mirabella. His brother, George, was the president of Bielli at the time as well. I know the boys quite well. And, fantastic people and great people to have involved in our game. They're very passionate and, obviously sponsor, Melbourne Victory and local football as well, which is great.
Before I bring Frothy back on, I want to ask you about an incident. Were you there?
Ooh.
Now, you know Cozzy. You know John Cosmina, don't you?
Don't we ever?
You know John.
Oh, no.
Were you there that day when Cozzy's sitting on that plastic chair?
Oh, no.
And Muskie's going to get the ball from underneath? And he wanted to hook him. He wanted to hook him on the ground. Was that right? Oh, mate.
Yes.
Were you there?
I was at it. Oh, it was, mate. I was at Etihad Stadium. We were playing, and I was on the field at the time. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, "What's going on here?" But I believe we were chasing the game at the time, and Kevin wanted the ball quickly because he was trying to delay it, and the barbecue chair went flying, and Cosy wasn't too happy.
Mate, why would they have barbecue chairs, those chairs, when you're supposed to have a bloody bench? Is that right? Jesus, mate.
Yeah, that's right. So they didn't want to distract the view of the fans, so we had the barbecue chairs, not the proper seating arrangements that they do now.
World Championship Wrestling with Muskie, mate. You know that. Here's Frothy for you.
Sorry, I'm going to try and say this correctly this time. Micheal, is that right?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes,
let's
that's
go
Michael,
with that.
yes.
Okay, now this is fair enough. Now listen, first of all, I had a chat with Mr. Gav NPL today, and we're going to get him on later on. And we both agreed that Norwich made a huge mistake in. No, I saw that game. You just can't make decisions like that with the reputation you had. Now, just to let people know the evidence, because a lot of people watch this show that have no idea what the NSL is. They think it stands for something else.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
National Psycho
But
League.
what I'm saying is...
National Psycho League.
National Psycho League.
Way, mate, if they say that again.
Yes, that's the one. Now, how funny is it, eh? You win 5 titles, and I've seen all your games. I'm a Raw supporter, not the other team that Harry mentioned. They wear a white V across it.
Leave my boys alone,
Well,
please.
those clowns over there. But anyway, now, 5 times winning the championship, and I believe you've never pulled on the gloves of the Socceroos. Is that fair to say?
That's disgusting. It should have happened.
Yeah, no. I was been on the bench a couple of times, but didn't get on the field. But yeah.
Well, that is crazy. I mean, you had guys like Danny Tiato and Muscat, where the first thing on their radar was to actually put someone in a bloody wheelchair. And we're talking about Harry. Sorry, I'm just going to look over to Harry here.
Yes.
Now, Harry, because Harry's
Yes.
not really aware of Brisbane Roar because he follows the other team there.
Leave
We're talking
my
about
boys
a guy
alone.
that won
Leave my
5
boys.
championships.
Of
You
course.
tell me, how the hell could he not get a start?
Now, Carlos, you got anything for
Is Carlos
Michael?
still there with us? Is he still
Of course
with us?
he's there.
Yes, I do. You played in many games which were highlights, grand finals. But is there a game that brings tears to your eyes because you felt like, let it be an earthquake and let me go in a hole?
Oh, we know about that.
Carlos, can I just butt in there? I'm going to give you the answer, Carlos. The rumour was going around when Brisbane beat Melbourne victory 5-0. Apparently, Michael Theoklitos at the time had a big party at his home. He was over the moon. Is that true?
Well,
I don't have a big party.
Let Michael confirm or dispel the rumour.
No, we can confirm that.
Yes.
Or dispel the rumour. Confirm or dispel the rumour.
Yeah, I wasn't much of a party boy, but yes, I remember that. That's obviously Postecoglou left Brisbane Roar and went to Melbourne Victory. And the first game we played against them, we won 5-0 at Suncorp Stadium, and I think I even had an assist in that game. It was a good game for us at the time. But no, I can only speak fondly of Ange. He's amazing coach, what he's achieved. And great to see him doing so well now as well, and obviously in Scotland. But to answer your question, I've been very fortunate to be part of, as you say, so many successful and memorable occasions. But
Absolutely.
I think the guys just mentioned it before as well. Norwich, for example, debut to concede 7 goals. Was just one of those things where whatever could go wrong went wrong. But you ask me, do I regret it? No chance, because it's made me the goalkeeper I am, the person I am. A lot of people. You obviously learn, you experience great times, but for me, you learn a lot during the difficult times. And as I said, I learned a lot about myself and the character that I am. And did I throw in the towel? No. The way I worked and worked hard, it just wasn't meant to be. In today's society, unfortunately, a lot of people, things get difficult and they're like throwing the towel. But that's not in my DNA. And I was very proud of the way I handled myself, because it was a very difficult situation. But it led me to Brisbane and all the success that I had. So, I'm a big believer of everything happens for a reason. So,
what a great move.
Michael, what I want to ask you is...
I've got a couple more questions
yes,
for
we've
me,
got a few more.
Harley,
We've got a few. Now, the thing I want to ask you is that... what are you doing right now? I mean, you're still in the game. You're still doing something. You've got an academy, I hear. We want to know about your academy, please.
The football academy.
It's the Michael Fair Soccer Academy. I've had it for 10 years. I had it during my Brisbane Raw days. As well, so I love coaching. So I'm very passionate about it, and I'm looking to bring it down here to Melbourne now. Obviously, being back in Melbourne, I'm still playing. NPL 3 at Nunawading FC. So still got the bug. So 40 years old now, but I'm probably fitter than I was when I was playing. So
well, let's just talk about this for a sec. You're still playing. We're talking about, what's that bloody guy in Italy who's still going at bloody nearly 50 years of age?
72. How old is he?
What's he bloody... You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Bloody Pierre Zenga. What's his name?
There's Buffon, of course, a goalkeeper. He's still going.
He's still going.
Yeah, you know what? You're a long time retired, but as I say, I still love it. I'm still in good nick, and I also coach as well. So yeah, for me, as I say, the desire's there, and it's great to give back as well. And
Yes.
yeah, I love working with the next generation, and if I can help in any way, I'm all for it. So yeah, as I say, I've been doing it for quite a while now,
Fantastic.
so it's been very, very fortunate.
We've spoken to a lot of guys who've got their academies. We've spoken to Con Butsianis. Of course, you know who Con is.
Yep.
Con.
Of course.
We've also had that gentleman who used to play for Melbourne Knights. He's got an academy out at Hoppers Crossing or
What
something
was his
down there.
name? Frank Urich, was it?
Point Cook. You know what I'm talking about.
Damien Murray, who was it?
Damien, they've all got bloody academies, man. But the thing is, this is the thing about this. It's good that you guys give back. It's giving back to the community, giving back to the kids to actually give them something to do and kind of bring them up. Like you could have another, a Harry Kuehl. You could have another Lucas Neal. You could have, you know what I'm saying. You could have kids there. You're talking about the other bloke. What's his name? I keep forgetting these bloody names tonight. Sorry, Michael.
What, another keeper you're saying?
Another keeper there. You know, I'm talking Peter Loomis. I can go. You know how far back?
Who the hell's Peter Loomis?
Do you know how far back I go? You've got no idea. Jim Shoulder. Remember Jim Shoulder at all?
Jim Shoulder?
Coach of the Socceroos.
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
1977, before you were born, Michael. There you go.
Jim Shoulder. Peter Loomis.
I'm not going to say my age either, but Frothy, go for it.
Well, look, Theo, it's good to see. We can tell in the tone of your voice you're enjoying yourself after retirement. But I still believe you can get a run at the Central Coast Mariners or maybe Newcastle Jets. And I mean that. You think I'm talking...
legitimately.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely spot on because a keeper can be 40 and he can still play.
Ray Clements, 40. Ray Clements, 45. Is Ray Clements, 45?
What about Peter
There you
Shilton?
go.
He's shooting mate in their 40s. What are you talking about there?
What about the Chinese?
Michael, please make a comeback. We want to see you again, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, but
I tell you what, boys, I'm actually fitter than I was when I played professionally. It's
There you
scary.
go.
I'm feeling amazing. So comeback might be on the cards. You heard it first.
There you go. Carlos,
Well, Michael, there's always a guest appearance for the over 35 Division 9 that I play for, you know.
That's right.
If you ever, when the borders open next year, you're more than welcome to make a guest appearance for the over 35 Division 9. And it's a good contract coming your way. Too good to refuse. Let me tell you that.
Souvlaki and a Coke, is that the offer?
Well, you know, the one thing about what you just said there, I'm just wondering about Ange in Scotland, what he's actually eating.
what would he be eating?
It would be like haggis, mate, the haggis.
Well,
a souvlaki haggis, you know what I mean? We could make some money out of it. Souvlaki haggis, that's right.
Well, I tell you what,
there you go.
I tell you what, Michael. Someone who's had a lot of now. Hold on, let's get this straight. Is a souvlaki? Is that a Greek kebab? Is it?
Well, it's
the
the original, mate.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, Micheal, I've got two more things to go by, and we're probably going to run out of data soon.
We are, actually.
Now, I'd like to do an NSL A-League comparison.
Oh, this is big. This is big.
Now, well, one of these players I'm going to mention also played NSL, but he also played A-League. So I'm going to go with Bessart Berisha or Damien Murray. If you could pull one out now to play for the club you're about to form, who would you take?
It's a tough one. Obviously, different eras, but
yes, it is a tough
for
one.
me, I'm going to be biased because I played with Bessart and he's such a predator and a winner. You want him in your team. It's just one of those players. You hate playing against him and you want him in your team. He can finish. So I'd go with Bessart. But yeah, Frogger obviously had an amazing career and goal machine, wasn't he?
And what I noticed with Bessart, I don't know, I watch all the A-League games. Now, I noticed with we call them the Ninjas, Micheal.
Western United.
The Western United Ninjas. Now, as much as I know about the game, I believe they didn't really supply much of the football when he was at the Ninjas. Something was going on there with Rudan and our mate Bessart, Harry. Now, did you see those games? Do you really believe they were supplying him with with those balls that he was being supplied with the killer bees, Bratton, Berisha, and Broyce? Remember that? I don't think something went wrong there, I believe.
Yeah, of course. Look, in saying that, he still scored quite a few goals, particularly the first year he was there, Bessart. But they dried up a bit, last A-League campaign. But he's just one of those, as I say, those players you want. His mentality, he's good around the group. He's a winner. In all seriousness, mind you, when he loses, he's probably the worst person you want to be around. But for me, you need that because he sets a tone. And it's, as I say, all these younger guys that see how he operates, is a great example. Look, for me, year one, he did well at Western United. He was double figures. Obviously, he's not the quickest that he was previously. I think he's 35, 36 now, but he still does a job. So, I was surprised that he moved on, and obviously, they really struggled for Western United.
He's gone back to bloody Germany
last year.
He's gone to play back in Germany. You're going to can't believe his age. And now, Carlos, you got some more for Michael here.
Yes, Michael. What advice can you give a young goalkeeper that wants to reach the height that you have reached?
Massive height.
Good question, Carlos. Look, as I said, through my academy, I get to work with quite a few goalkeepers, and the best advice I can say is just really love what you do. Everyone's goal is to make it professionally. I get that, but it's about the journey and just loving what you do, wanting to improve on a daily basis. And you know what? You need a bit of luck on the way. You need a coach to believe in you. Be injury-free as well. There's so many factors that come into it. It's tough, and the reality is not many get to be professional footballers. So for me, it's not about whether you make it or not. Whatever level you play, just be the best possible version you can be, and you got to love it. And just, as I say, you want to do it every day. It's not a chore. It's, I've got to go to training or I've got to get up. For me, it came naturally. I was very disciplined. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, never went out while my friends did. So you need that. But for me, it wasn't, people say, oh, how did you do that? For me, it was normal because I loved what I did. It's what I wanted to do. But of course, everyone wants to be a professional. We know what the goal is, but just work hard for the steps that can, give you the every best chance of getting to it and loving what you do.
And one last question. What if you play at the highest level and you're forever the number two? How did you motivate yourself to continue be like Selko Kallas? He was number two at Milan for years and years. So how did you motivate? What can you tell a young player? You're the number two forever and ever. How did you be your best?
You got to be patient, wait your turn, wait your time, and hopefully you'll be given an opportunity and you've got to take it. But my motto was train like you're number two. So even if I was playing, I'd still work just as hard. I didn't think, because I'm the number one goalkeeper, I can take it easy now. But again, that came within me. Like, for me, I always focused on myself. I didn't focus on, I'm with Jamie Young or I'm with Eugene Galakovic. They're great goalkeepers themselves in their own right. But for me, it's about what I can control. I can't control what they're doing. It's about, standards and giving myself every best opportunity. So I was quite fortunate throughout my career where I did play mostly as a number one goalkeeper, but it's hard that mental side of things where you work hard during the week and then the only way I'm going to play is if the goalkeeper gets injured or sent off. So to back up, week in, week out, it's very, very difficult. And my hat goes off to, goalkeepers who are in that position because the reality is that there's only one that plays and there's probably 3 or 4 goalkeepers that train together. But, we're sort of a team amongst the team, if that makes sense. Yes. And we all get along. We know how it is. As I say, one plays, the rest doesn't, but everyone supports each other. But it's a tough situation that you're in, but you've just got to keep working hard and wait for that opportunity, and you've got to take it when it presents itself.
Well, Michael, I've got the last stuff here for Frothy to get to say something. He's got some kind of quiz, kind of thing happening for you, right, Michael?
What we do here, Micheal, I hope I'm getting that right.
You are saying the Greek word quite well, actually.
I'm trying to beat it.
Yes.
Before I get to my 30-second shot clock...
I've got 30 seconds lining up right now.
Let's see your opinion. 2 players that didn't deserve to be in the A-League. In other words, these are the 2 worst players I've seen play in the A-League. Now, look, you can answer this correctly. There's only 3 of us on the show. Nobody watches the show.
Make a bet. It's a couple of hundred watching now.
Don't say that because he won't answer properly.
Even bloody Horace is going. Horace is coming. What's your
sorry,
mate? Get in
we have
a bloody crow.
Harry books in a crow on Monday night to fly over. We still can't get the little bastard.
Get on with it, brother.
Okay. Go for it.
Yes. I'll give you one.
What's that?
Mario Jardel.
Oh,
remember striker.
I remember him.
Newcastle Jets.
Absolutely hopeless.
He signed as their marquee player, and I think he was on a big holiday.
Oh my
Yes.
God! Romario too. Jesus.
Okay, fellas, but listen up. But his resume is better than these two guys I'm going to mention.
Oh, no, of course.
Now, Romario was a flop as well. He purely came here for the 10 cents they paid him, whether they paid him.
Holiday pay.
Now, I'm going to go with Gol Mabratu or Kenny Athieu. Who would you say
my
wins the
God.
worst player to ever play in the A-League?
Oh, Jesus.
Now, be honest now.
Look, look, for me,
Please, God.
I think Kenny struggled in terms of, I know he's a ex-Heidelberg burger, yellow and black, which you guys are very fond of.
we
He
won't
obviously
do
did
that
well at
against him,
NPL level, but he struggled in A-League. I think he might have scored one goal. I'm not too sure if he even scored, but he struggled. So you
give
Kenny,
the award to Kenny Athieu, I suppose.
Kenny Athieu,
Close.
Unfortunately, sorry, Kenny.
Yes, well, we'd like to be honest. Now, listen here. We need very, very short, quick answers here. Now, Harry, can you start the clock, please?
It started.
Okay, here we go. I'll just say Michael
quick, it
here.
started.
Okay, here we go. Dogs or cats?
Cat,
A favourite movie?
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
That's my favourite. Stop the clock. That's my favourite movie too, Harry. Did you know? Yeah. And now, restart it, please. Thank you. Okay, hardest opponent.
Hardest opponent? Oh, wow. The A-League? It varied from year to year. Oh, who would it be?
Probably the Mariners, I suppose, all those tussles.
Bloody
Mariners back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, they were hard working.
There you go. I can read me Harley's mind.
Go for it.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Best soccer player of all time? Watch this. Leo Messi.
Messi.
Oh,
I told you he'd say that. Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
Yeah, is it, vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
A Corona, real or not real, and not the beer?
Real.
Yes, okay. Now, were you one in your younger days, were you into the old disco music or the rock and roll?
Probably more disco.
Right, now, Harry, how do we go with the clock? Did he make
Now,
it?
we've made it, but I'll tell you something right now. I'm glad you said coffee because you're involved with the coffee club too. Is that right? I'm glad you said coffee there.
Correct.
Yes.
There you go.
Exactly.
The coffee club.
Didn't
Great.
we love the coffee
Don't
club?
forget, I'm going to say something very nice about you,
And
Michael.
you know the people at
that
the coffee
these
club.
guys at the coffee club know me for over 30 years in Brisbane because I lived there as
Yes.
well. And manual drivers, we're speaking to one of your sponsorship guys right now.
Exactly.
And he's watching, I know, Michael. We'll send him the show anyway. There you go, Michael. There you go.
Thank you. No, they're gentlemen. As I say, I was very fortunate to meet some amazing people, and they obviously owned Brisbane Roar when I played for them.
Yes.
And I can't speak highly enough of them. Fantastic people.
Michael, we want to
Well,
say
I
thank
tell you what, I couldn't be more excited tonight. We had the great Micheal Theo on tonight.
Michael,
I tell you what,
we thank you very much.
I'm gonna sleep with my
We'd
jumper
love to
on.
have you on the show again sometime. Is
can
that
I
all
put
right?
his name on the back there?
Not a problem at all, boys. My pleasure.
When we open up, we'll come and do a show on the field with you. How's that? On one of the fields that you play.
Remember the treat I used to
Done.
give
Sounds
Michael
good.
Theo?
We will do something as you're coaching with the kids, and we'll get you to talk about it. How's that?
And when we get him on next
No
time,
worries.
we're going to ask him why the name changed. We'll leave that for the next show.
That's another
Oh,
story.
no. Geez, a bit of controversy, you reckon? Yeah,
Well,
no.
we don't-
Well, we
Michael,
don't know.
thank you for coming on. Thank you. Carlos, can you please hold?
Michael is a legend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure.
Thank
Take
you, Michael,
care.
for joining
Bye-bye.
us. Thank you.
Two of the greatest clubs in Australia.
Carlos, you there?
One in North.
I'm here, yes.
Now, we are going to talk about something very, very interesting. Now, you saw, this is very interesting, Frothy.
Well, here we go, yes.
We saw that Four Corners ABC documentary last week about the game.
Yes, we did.
I was not very impressed of how the game's been run in this country
Yes.
and how they're running it in the A-League. And what do you think of that?
And Carlos, you know, a good lawyer to talk us through this corruption, mate.
Just hang on.
Oh, yeah, that's all about that, isn't it?
Well, I think there is a lesson to be learnt to
True.
do things better.
Yes.
We all want to know who are the owners of the clubs,
That's right.
where they how they're financing the clubs,
Yes.
and obviously we want to make sure that the finances or the money that comes to help the clubs which are needed come from so-called clean money. There is nothing sadistic. There is nothing that is contrary to our values. to the way we value life, we value our way of life. So I think there's a lesson to move forward. The Four Corners program raised a lot of issues and questions, but there was no, in my view, concrete evidence of any wrongdoing from any of the private equity owners. But we obviously...
Yes.
Was he watching the same show we're watching, Harry? The Bakri Group. Now, I can give them the red card. I'm going to put up the red card to the Bakri Group.
We know all about the Bakri Group. I've investigated them, but that's another story there.
And a few things got proven there.
Now, Carlos, I also...
Match fixing. Now, come on, let's cover this, Carlos.
Well, we can't talk about that right now because we don't have any proof at the moment.
No, plenty of proof there.
Carlos, what I want to talk to you about is that Bonita... I spoke to Bonita after that show. I spoke to her the next day. I did speak to her about that, and there was a few things that actually had left out on. Now, I can't speak right now because it's all being investigated right now. There's a few things that actually left out. She told me there was 42 minutes, and a lot of the show was edited, so a lot of stuff wasn't actually mentioned. So we need to watch this space a bit more and find out what's really going on. I'm sure something is happening. Now, Carlos, I want to move onto the next situation of the brand new A-League's logo. Now, Carlos, to me, if you saw that piece of wood and that little ball, it seems to me like a cricket type of advertisement, Carlos. I'm really lost for words about that logo.
They're spending all this money,
Well, what
Carlos.
the logo has done, because of its simplicity and perhaps a kindergarten child drawing that logo, it has everyone talking. And that's what you wanted. And I think it was deliberate to... And then the other logo that it looks so similar, this construction company in Adelaide.
That's right.
Apparently, that particular firm hasn't registered that logo with IPA Australia. So that to me, the logo is simple. It has everyone talking about it, whether you like it or you hate it. It has raised the awareness of the A-League, the W League, and the Youth League, and that's what you want. So to me, it was an amazing, clever piece of marketing because it was simple, perhaps stupid,
controversial.
But everyone is talking about it.
Well, now hold on, Carlos. Let me just intervene. Is that the word I'm looking for? Harry?
Intervene.
Yes.
Now, Carlos. Seriously. Now you can't. Now I don't know how many ports you've had tonight, but now they've come up with a logo which would have cost them money. Now tell me they didn't do a search to know that someone owns this and it's going to hit the high courts of Australia. Now if they can't get a bloody logo right, how the hell are they going to run the league? Now, that's two logos I've seen since the start of the A-League, which look absolutely rubbish. One, Harry, is your team, the Melbourne Victory, and now this stupid logo there. Now, do you agree, Harry?
Well, my sources tell me that logo from the Adelaide-based construction company
Yes.
hasn't been registered as a trademark logo, because every time you have a new logo, and if you want to protect it from people copying or knocking it off, like McDonald's,
you do a search.
You register as your own trademark at IPA, Intellectual Property Australia, which is a government agency.
Yes.
My sources tell me that Adelaide-based construction company has that logo, which is very unique, but it wasn't registered.
Oh, boy.
So therefore, if someone else looks like yours, well, there's not much you could do.
That's right.
But it created additional publicity for this Adelaide-based company. So it's a win-win for everyone. Everyone is talking about your logo and raising the awareness brand. Well, so Carlos, it is a win-win for everyone, in my view.
Just hang on. This point was said a few weeks ago.
Yes, it was.
And I spoke to Andrew Burnell about this. I spoke to Andrew Burnell, Carlos, and I said that we don't have a name for our game here, which is the world game, of course. We call it, whether you call it soccer or football, it's called, the world game is football. And we spoke about saying, where's the identity that is basically saying the separation of this game to the other games of football in this country. This is our point. The separation of the games. You've got rugby league, rugby union, AFL, and you have some other Gaelic football and American football here now as well. Now, why can't we have a name where it separates us from the other football codes? This is the point I make. And this logo has taken it so far further back, I don't understand. It doesn't show you anything what sport it is. It says leagues. On the bottom it says leagues. Well, that little ball, that circle and that rectangle, there is nothing there that states what game is leagues. Leagues. What is that?
Well, Carlos, seriously, by creating a new logo, what is the point? Are they going to get more people going to the game? Is it going to improve our quality of players here? What is the point of creating a new logo? What was wrong with the last one? I don't understand.
Well,
what are they doing?
When the clubs took over the running of the A-League, independently of FA,
Sweet
because
FA,
they wanted to be in charge of their own destiny.
Yes.
So it starts with a logo. It starts with a new broadcasting deals where the money goes back to the club. So the logo, the new logo, is the APL's new initiative to rebrand the league as independent from FA Football Australia. So it's got to start somewhere. Starts with a logo, and there's obviously Paramount 10 and Paramount Plus has come into the picture, and it's a lot of live streaming of games as well simultaneously to the main game. Because remember, when Fox had the television rights, you had a game at 5, you had a game at 7, and a game at 9.
Yes.
Now, with a new draw, you have 2 or 3 games in different states at the same time. So Paramount Plus, Channel 10, will have one game on 10 each, and then you could have the other digital channels. You could flick to have a look what's happening in Melbourne and Adelaide. So the logo is the beginning of the new league, which the clubs wanted to be the masters of their own destiny. So give them time. They wanted to be their own the league, run the league. Now it's up to them to run with it and make it grow.
Well, let's see what happens here now with this. How we're going to actually recognise what this logo is. Let's just see what they're going to do. They're going to have to try and modify it in some way and say what game it is, and that's what they need to do as far as I'm concerned. Now, Carlos, before we let you go, we've got the Socceroos coming in a couple of days' time. Is that right? Yes. Socceroos qualifiers start again.
That's right. We're playing Oman on Friday, 4 o'clock time.
Yes.
Oh, and then this is a home game. And then on the Tuesday, we got the Socceroos travel to Saitama in Tokyo to play Japan. So remember, Japan, 2 games played, 1 loss, 1 win.
Yes.
We're on top of the table with 2 games, 2 wins. Oman, 2 games, 1 win.
Yep.
So this is a very difficult game for the Socceroos, both in Oman at home in Doha at home to Oman and then travel away to Japan. It looks like that the game with Saudi Arabia at home will be played at Bank West.
Yes.
The Matildas and FA have reached an agreement with the New South Wales government to allow the 2 games, the Matildas games against Brazil, 23rd and 26th October at Bank West, with very strict COVID-19 protocols and a reduced quarantine period. So that game is crucial to allow the Socceroos to play their home games at home, whatever that place may be. Looks like Sydney, New South Wales or Victoria seem to be the most flexible states at the moment in terms of the way forward. 80%, we're opening it up. Queensland and WA are in another world at the moment, but time will tell how the cookie crumbles.
Exactly, Carlos. Thank you for. I'm going to speak to you about something. I'll be talking to you on Thursday night. Is that right? Of course we are.
That is correct, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you anytime about football, Harry.
And we're also
But
going
what about me? Is there any, you get any pleasure talking to me, young Carl?
I don't know. Here we go.
Well, be honest. I don't know. Can we get an honest answer out of you? Otherwise, we might have to call a lawyer, maybe. For this
Here we
answer.
go again, Carlos.
Oh, no answer. I think he's fallen asleep. Are you there, Carlos? I think you fell off the
Carlos,
chair.
I'm waiting for the question for the honest answer.
Here we go.
Well, that was the question. I thought you fell off the chair.
Carlos, on Thursday night, I'll be talking to you
Yes,
about your products, our first. And everybody listen to this right now. On Thursday night, we have a show. It's called the Sponsors Product Show.
Woo!
And we're going to be highlighting all their products and their goods and all the stuff that they can do for you. Is that right, Carlos? And you'll be on there as well talking about your law firm and everything and that. Is that right? Of course.
I will be happy to be part of the hour with you, Harry.
Thank you very much, Carlos.
And
No
I'll
problem.
I'll be on as well. I'll be doing the vacuuming around the studio
That's
here.
right. Yes, Carlos. Here you go.
I'll make sure everything, the beverages are here for our
Yes,
guests
yes.
here in the audience. So I won't be on camera, but I'll be here in spirit. Harry, how's that?
Carlos, thank
That's
you.
good to hear.
Carlos, see you on Thursday night. Thank you for joining us.
See you Thursday, and thank you for having me on the show.
No problem,
Please,
Carlos. No
please,
problem, guys.
legend.
Thank you, Carlos. Guys,
I tell you
always great to have Carlos online because I tell you what, he
Well,
actually knows a lot about the game. He has a
does.
show, Planet Football, on 2RRR in Sydney,
Yes.
and we're hoping to actually speak to him a lot more when the game starts in Sydney as well and in Melbourne as well. So we're going to bring on Mr. NPL.
Mr. NPL.
We're talking about more situations in here because the game's going to be starting again here very shortly.
We've got things to look. We've got something to say about Celtic. We have something to say about obviously Angelo Postecoglou. Is that the way you pronounce it?
He's got a little
Yes.
couple of problems there.
And Arsenal. We're going to talk a little bit about Arsenal.
Oh, I don't want to talk about them. Sorry.
And I'll tell you what, Mohamed Salah. Have you heard the latest? Well, I'll tell you what. I'll
I'll
ask
talk about
Gav,
him.
and let's see if Gav knows what is going on with Mohamed Salah, the great Liverpool striker.
I have to call him twice again, do I?
Yeah, you have to
Jesus
call him
Christ,
twice,
mate.
Call him twice and see
His
how
sister
you
will
go.
answer the phone, guys, at the minute,
no,
and we'll get him on right now, hopefully.
That's all right. You can hang up.
I
now
hope he
and ring
comes
in.
on, mate, because
Yeah,
we've got to ring
no,
him
you have
twice
to
because
call
he's
him
got some
twice.
kind of red
No,
carpet problem or something. I don't know what it is. Here he is. Here we go. Gavin, are you there? You going to stuff us up, are you? He's not there, man. His girl.
Hi,
It's
the
his
person
girlfriend.
you have called
He's
is
off
not.
again.
Why does he do this to us every time, guys?
I tell you what,
We're laughing at him every
I'm going
time.
to send Boris, who is Horace's brother, over to his house and get him. There he is.
Barry,
Speaking
get out
of
your
bloody
mud.
Devil, he's the little bastard.
Get out of here, mate.
Can you book him for some other?
I don't think you'll
please,
answer us
Harry?
tonight, this bloke. Gavin, are you there, mate?
Alright.
Gavin, are you there?
Alright.
Mr. MPL's back. We've got
Hey.
Gavin.
Got him
Can I
back.
ask you a question before we start?
Yes, go for
Yes.
it.
Can you
yes.
please buy two phones? You know
I'll
why?
give you another number, Harry, to ring me on if you want.
Yeah.
Now
I'm
on.
only joking, Gavin.
Well, Gav,
I'll give you another number to ring me on the other phone, my wife's phone. My phone's just what it is, mate. Stuff.
It's, I know, mate.
It's a SIM card. As far as I understand, it's a SIM card because it's only a new phone. I've only had
Oh,
it
okay.
a year,
I get you.
well, Gav,
and
the
it's just,
real.
it does it to everybody.
Gav,
Ask Rocky, ask anybody who rings my phone. They'll
Oh, my
tell you the
God.
same thing, mate.
Gavin, we have a situation. A massive shit.
How are we anyway, guys? What the tops? I'm going to say what the tops.
Well, which
Why?
one do you like out of the two? I mean, do you
What
like
now?
you know, I'm not
the
a-
baby blue one or the Dutch one over here? Gav?
Well, I'm not a big Eastern Suburbs Alcoa fan,
Thanks, mate.
mate.
Appreciate
Far
that.
from it, mate.
Yes, same here.
Don't mind the Brisbane one. It's not bad, but I'm not an orange and blue person either, Proppy. So,
Okay.
Well, look, I tell you what, you're in good hands. Stephanie Brands, we've had her on. She's got orange blood. And even Michael, sorry, let me say this like a Greek.
Michael Theoklitos.
Not Theoklitos, Micheal, he's also a supporter of the orange. But look, the reason why Harry's complaining about the double phone call to you, because the first time he called you, he goes to a little bit more data, mate. So can you please answer the first time?
of course,
There's always,
the data,
there's
mate.
always an
Yeah.
excuse.
Tell me this before the
We're
show.
working.
There's always
We've
a
got the
bloody...
camera going. We're working tonight. It's a great start.
Gavin, what I want to talk about to you is the NPL, mate. I hear after the 26th, we're supposed to open up. We have COVID laws and COVID
Yes.
situations, I hear, that you need to be double vaxxed. It came from a certain gentleman a week ago when he spoke about the battle. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this very theatrical.
What happened?
The battle for Lakeside.
Well,
The
there's
battle
no
for Lakeside. We're going to talk about the battle for Lakeside very
It's
shortly.
over.
That's
Yeah,
no, there's
who won,
more. There's
Proppy?
more.
Who won, Harry?
There's
Who
more.
come out on top, mate?
There's more to
Who's
come.
not going to be playing there, mate?
There's,
It's not happening.
we're not talking
Finish.
about. What I want to talk to you about is the NPL will be starting a lot earlier this year, maybe, I hear. Maybe.
Okay, didn't hear that. Don't know.
We're
Don't know.
talking about maybe
NPL.
January. There we go.
Okay. Well, that'd be good if we start the end of January. That'd be good.
So,
yeah, that'd be good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's hard this year, mate. With everything's up in the second year of no relegation, no promotion, no championship, no season ending. You know what I mean? Like, no end to the season. It's just what it is. It's hard, mate. You know what I mean? Like, but it's what it is. Can't do nothing about it.
We can't do much.
So think about it, really, to be honest. I'll wait till next year, mate, and see what happens. But it is good news, what you were talking about before, about Western United, mate. They're not coming.
I'll say this again.
The battle
won, for Lakeside has been lost by the certain people from the green and black.
Yeah, well, mate, finally, something good. We've finally come out on top for once, mate.
And
when it comes to the one thing battling with the A-League and the FFA, mate. So great work.
And guess
really
what's
I'm really happy.
And guess what's happened about this? This is something right now that you need to know. Where Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory did say, we don't want you at Amy Park. Too many clubs there, and that's it. And guess what? They let them in. They absolutely let them in now. They let them in.
So it was the right thing to do.
What upsets me about this is this. They were given the ultimatum. With the first 3 years that come up, you need to have your stadium ready. Guess what? It's coming up the fourth year now. How's that?
Yeah, they haven't even got a plan. They haven't got a planning permit, Harry.
No, they haven't got nothing. Apparently, it's just a road. It's just a road they've put through.
Correct.
A road.
It's a road that's built by the council.
I know.
And the developer of the new housing estate where they want to build this stadium.
It's ridiculous.
That's all they've done. No planning permit, no funding, nothing.
Now, Gav,
can I just say one more before I forget it goes on?
Yes, one more.
Is this corruption? Is this the way they had to get these guys in? They paid them under the table or something to get them in there? Because I tell you what, right now, after what we've heard on Four Corners, Four Corners. After what we've heard on Four Corners last week, after the show last Sunday or last Monday, whatever it was. Mate, I was very, very, very concerned about what's going on here because I tell you what, there's a lot more to come out of this, and this. I like Western United, whatever you want to say. We're part of their team as well, but we want to get everything straight. What the hell is going on?
Queensland properties.
Now listen up, Gav. Listen up. Now let's talk. I want to talk EPL. Now let me try and pronounce this right. This particular team. They're called Arsenal. Is it?
Arsenal, yeah, mate.
Yes,
it is, mate.
Now what's going on with the Gunners? Now,
is he a gunner?
No.
Is he a gunner, Sophie? You should have asked him the question, mate.
He wasn't a gunner. What a Norwich call. What do they call it?
Norwich for 3 games,
I didn't want to say anything to Michael about that, honestly, mate.
Well, they're called the Seabirds or something. But listen, what's happening down at Arsenal? Are you happy? Is everything going right?
We're 4 games unbeaten now in the league, mate. We're going okay. We're doing all right. We're up to 11th. We're doing okay. We're just going along. We just keep going, mate. We just do it. Take it game by game, the old saying. We're doing okay.
Oh, well,
but you know what, Gavin? They want to get rid of the coach too. They want to get Arteta. They want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I did too. Harry,
what is going on down there?
I had enough of the coach, mate, for numerous reasons, mate. He's constantly changing the team, his style of play, his tactics.
New coach. You've got to find out what's going on. It's the same as Ange. Isn't it? The same thing as Ange.
Well, I'll tell you what.
He's constantly picking players who have shown over an amount of time they're clearly not good enough, and he keeps picking them. And he not just pick them; he wants to play. He wants to build the team around them, which is even more crazy.
Oh, what is going on? I tell you what.
In the last couple of weeks, he turned it around. Results have got better, and there was no I'm just talking for myself. I don't know about other Arsenal fans, but there was no expectation from me for this year. I was just going to see what happened. He's at the end of his contract this year. If we had a shit year, he'd get sacked, and we move on. And that's it.
Well,
that's how I looked at it.
Can I just now move over to Ange at the moment, guys? Now,
yes,
with Ange,
let's look at some positive stuff.
There's some positive stuff this week. They won the game. They grinded it right out, apparently.
2-1, mate. Fantastic.
2-1. Now, I hear he's bringing new players back. He's now got to bring in players in now. He's buying new players again.
Who's he buying?
Well, we don't know. We'll have to find out in the next few weeks. Apparently.
We've got I think we made 9 signings or something.
Yes.
We've lost a couple of senior blokes. We've got we've got the captain out at the moment. He's out injured, and we've got one of our other most experienced players and one of our best players out injured. Has been out for a while. So we've had a couple of bad results. People are criticising his style of play, as in, like, got to try and sit back and defend a bit more instead of pushing forward and just gung-ho, you know what I mean, like trying to go for it all the time. I've got to sit back a little bit and try and sit in there and hold and
Right.
be a bit more tight in defence.
Right.
But
This is it. This is
that's
it,
not
mate.
the Celtic way.
Now-
That's not the Celtic way, mate.
Okay.
Celtic way's attack.
Now, we
Score
have...
goals, win
Now,
games.
hold on. Gav's still talking.
No, I've got to stop you there, Gavin, because we've got
Sorry,
a special
Gav,
guest
yes,
here right now.
interrupt.
Stephen Holiday, always on holidays.
He's always on holidays.
Now, guess what he says? I think
What
this
did
is
he say?
fantastic what he says.
What did he
This
say?
is what he says. Ange needs some more Aussie players. There you go.
Well,
Yeah, well, that would be good,
yes
mate.
and no. Yes and
One or
no.
two will be good. Depending
what
on
we need.
what we need. And if they're good enough, and you know what I mean, like that's the main thing. So yeah, no, he's doing well, Harry.
I
was a
think
good
he
win.
is.
I watched the game last night. Actually, I watched the game, Celtic Aberdeen.
A lot
It was
of
good.
people,
Good win.
a lot of
Good
things.
performance.
I will tell you something right now from some
What are you gonna
former,
tell us right
former
now?
NSL players were saying a lot of things about Ange on Facebook last night.
Maybe
Uh,
me
what-
Harley said the same
No,
thing.
no. Certain big name from Sydney was saying a few things on there, and I didn't want to put that up there on our site because I thought, well, it could be a massive SHIT fight, so I left that alone. Now, Gavin, and all you guys out there listening, we're going to finish the show very shortly because this is very important. That you
We've got
guys
4 minutes.
hear this right now. This is very important.
Here's a scoop,
On-
Gav. Listen up. Clean your
On
ears out.
Thursday night, we are
Yes.
doing our first Football-less sponsorship product show,
Ooh,
right?
well,
where
well,
we
well.
are going to advertise the shirts we're wearing.
Yep.
As you can see, the shirts. We've got shirts here. The heritage shirts.
Yes, there they are.
They're
already.
going to be. There are two types of heritage shirts, guys. A lot of people out there were wondering. We can't pay $150. We can't pay 120. We have a
Yes.
heritage shirt coming out for $75.
What? Is that all?
$75. There you go.
Is that all?
You're all complaining. $75 plus $10 postage, right? That's within Australia. So that we're going to be bringing this up to you guys on Thursday night at 7 p.m. with our sponsor. There is only one football, David Ben. And also, we have Carlos Bielli coming on right now. And not right now, but on Thursday night to talk about football contracts. Also on player contracts, because he's a solicitor and he will say how he can write up contracts for clubs as well. We'll be asking these questions.
Okay.
And Arrow Sport are going to be making shirts for clubs. They want to have shirts for their own clubs. He makes shirts for five-a-side games, all sorts of track suits, all sorts of stuff. Even the football-less shirt. You know the football-less shirts that we've been wearing as well?
yeah,
He makes
come on,
those.
yeah.
They're going for $60 on there. There's only one.
Is that
football-
all? I'm gonna buy
$60.
two.
$60. You know,
Good.
they're
Good,
fantastic. So,
They're good
watch.
kids.
What was
I
that?
love they're good quality, these, what's the name? There's only one football shirt. They're really good, mate. I like
they're
them.
fantastic. And I tell you what, you guys
Now-
don't want to buy the $150 ones. They're $75 ones,
Now, listen.
and they're going to be as
No,
good as the
no,
ones we're wearing.
definitely.
There you go.
Now, shut
Really
up.
good.
Let me get a word in here.
7
Now-
p.m. The footballers
Well,
product
probably-
show.
Well, what's the
I'll try
point
and tune in,
having...
Harry. See how I'm going, mate, on Thursday night.
Hey, Gav,
Yes.
what's the point having
Yeah,
a show
copy.
on Thursday night? He's told us all about it now.
He looks like Moses right now. You can see
sorry, mate, you
Moses.
don't need to watch it, mate. Know all about it. I know.
That's right.
The guy looks
Yeah.
like bloody Moses.
Yeah, now listen,
Jesus.
Sunday. Let's talk a little bit about Liverpool before we go. Because,
here we go.
Yeah.
Now, my mate Mohamed Salah,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
now he's demanding £500,000 a week or he's gone.
He can go. He can go.
No, well,
Seriously.
He can go to Celtic.
No.
Why not?
Jesus, right. He's fucking breaking records.
So what
mate,
I'm
that
getting
way,
at,
fucking,
Gav-
mate, I'm telling you, that's Messi bloody package, mate.
Now,
That's
what-
a Messi deal.
Now,
So
what
tell
I'm
you that,
getting at is he worth it? Now, we know you know the name. Is he worth £500,000 a week? Me, yes.
Well,
you?
no, I would say
Mozzarella.
no one is. No one is, because that's ridiculous money. But
Oh.
in today's world, possibly, yes. I think he's, how old is he? He's like 29 or something. He's still got some good years left in him. He's the fastest man to 100 goals in Liverpool history.
Well, this is what I'm saying. How could he not be worth £500,000 a week?
What's he
I mean,
on,
Leo
Gav?
Messi gets £2 million
What?
a week.
What's he on,
That's
Gavin?
not a bad stat, Brock. He's the fastest man to 100 goals in Liverpool history as in
Whoa.
amount of games played.
Oh, well, what
I'm
can
not
you
sure how
do?
many games. I think it's like 130 games or something. He scored 100 goals or something already. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about compared to the strikers Liverpool have had over the last 60 years. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you got to give him credit because let's be honest. Yeah, nothing against these people. We love all people. But being Egyptian, well, look, we can say there's no soccer DNA in their blood. Now he can rock up and play for Liverpool, and like you said, he scored the quickest 100. This guy's worth every bit of £500 a week, Gav. Now seriously, you reckon Carlos would agree to that, Harry?
Carlos could sign his contract.
Do you think Carlos
Yes,
has fallen
Carlos
asleep
is
on
up
us?
on that contract, Harry. Carlos would love to
gee.
do that contract. Get a nice buddy.
yes.
Well, he could own
Nice
the
little percentage on that, mate. Love it,
He
mate.
could own the whole A-League for that much money, mate. Jesus.
That's right. He could buy a club with that buddy, with that fee, mate.
Mate. Listen, boys,
Well, I'll tell you what, fellas.
Gavin,
That commission.
we've got to finish the show right now because we're running out.
I am still
Yeah, all
excited.
right, guys,
I'm still excited, Gav. We had the great Micheal Theo.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
goalkeeper.
good interview.
Fantastic.
Great interview. Enjoyed that. Really did. It was a really good interview.
He's very good.
He's a good bloke.
Very good
bloke.
bloke. Good sense of humour.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, but
100%.
we didn't quite discover. Well, we'll ask him when we put him on next week.
We'll put him
or
in a couple of weeks.
Well, we'll get him back on.
A few more weeks.
I just
Hey,
have one more question. I wonder why the name change. I wonder what's behind
Well,
that.
because you can't say my name compared to Harry Sunday. It's much better. It's easier.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Here we go.
why Sunday? It's Monday. How should we call Harry Monday? We do the show on Monday.
Gavin?
That makes sense.
Gavin?
What do you reckon, Gav?
We've
Didn't
lost
change
the
your name,
mate.
Harry Monday. That's right.
Exactly.
Harry Monday.
Every
Harry,
day.
I just wanted to mention Harry. In fact, I just wanted to mention Socceroos, mate. Looking forward to it. Friday,
Yes.
Oman, then Tuesday night, Japan.
Why so late?
Really looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Why
Should be
so
great.
late? Early in the morning, my God.
Okay. I've got
Gavin,
my little-
Gavin,
Yeah,
are
5:30 on Friday morning.
Gavin?
And then 9:30 on Tuesday night. So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
The Tuesday night game in Japan.
Gavin,
Really looking forward to that.
Just remember this, Gavin. On Thursday night, join in because you're going to find out the prices of the shirts and everything, and that's what's going to be happening.
Well, you already
no,
told
no.
us
Yeah,
it's
cool.
75
No. We'll be knowing a lot more. There'll be lots of information on
Gav,
the shirts.
tune in, mate. Tune in
John,
or
mate.
tune out.
All right, Gavin. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Data, John. Data.
As
Now,
always,
Gav,
John.
Before you go, Gav, 1 second. I've got my little scoreboard here. Oman 1, Australia 1. There's my prediction.
Rubbish.
Oh, I've already
Oman
written it.
1, Australia 1, did you say?
I'm going
Rubbish.
1-1 there.
Rubbish.
What about the away game in Japan, Poppy? What's your stats, mate? What do you got for that?
Well, I put Japan 1-0. to beat
No.
Aussies.
Japan,
Fair enough, yeah.
Japan, and not the
thinking
Japan.
maybe-
There it is there. There's the predictions live there.
Yeah, you know, if we got a draw in Japan, mate, I'll be wrapped. If we
That's
got
better.
a draw there, that would be a fantastic result.
All right, Gavin. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Well,
We'll see
Gav,
you.
it
All right,
was
guys.
a pleasure talking
Great
to
talking
you.
to you.
Thanks, guys.
And I'll tell you
Talk
what.
to you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Well,
Catch you,
I'll tell
mate.
you what. Now, you know what I'm going to do?
Well, we're finishing up right now.
Well, I'm gonna purchase one of these tops here.
Well, you better do it very
One of
shortly.
the,
You better order it real
Brisbane
quick.
Lions top, and I'm going to send it to Gav, and I'm going to send another one to me,
Oh
Harley
no! Oh
Theo,
no! Oh no!
just to show them that I'm a good bloke, and they deserve to be dressed in orange because that is the colour.
Join us Thursday
Now,
night for the
according
product
to
launch of the
Stephanie
shirts,
Brand.
the
Remember
product show
Stephanie
for the
Brand?
shirts, and all the
Now,
goods
Stephanie
and
Brand
services our
would have to be
sponsors
the
do for us.
smartest
Thank you for joining us, guys.
commentator. Now,
See you
I'll
on
tell you what.
Thursday night. Thank you, guys. Thank you. 7 p.m. Thursday
We
night.
have smart
Thank you, guys. Hup,
commentators,
hup,
and we
hup,
have
hup.
commentators who don't quite sort of know the game in Cozzy. Now remember Cozzy.
Mate.
Now what happened? Was that Horace?
Hup, hup. Fabians, guys, if you're joining us right now. Hup. See you Thursday night for the big product launch of all the shirts and the goods and the products of all our sponsors. The cup of life. This is the one. Now is it time?
Come on, baby.
Don't ever
Free
stop.
my bum.
We shouldn't know. Gotta be strong.
She bangs.
We shouldn't know. Right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it. I see it in your eyes. You want the cup of life.
Holy mackerel. we
Here
just-
you're gonna
tell you
get
what,
it.
we
Do you
dropped the
really
mic.
want
Yeah,
it?
it's all happening
Do you
here.
really want it? Hey!
Ho!
Here we go.
did that feel?
Ali, Ali, Ali.
Go, go, go.
Ali,
Ale, ale,
Guys,
ale.
join us on Thursday night,
Oh, we
7
don't
p.m.
know.
for our product launch of our sponsors. Good night,
Thursday
guys.
night.
Thank you. Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called thereisonlyonefootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There's only one football.